small Connecticut town is holding anti-racist meetings. Oh God, this should be good. So there's a little town in Connecticut named Rocky Hill. It's a nice little town. Still has a few family-owned shops, good restaurants. It's not super wealthy, but let's just say there aren't any trailer parks in Rocky Hill. The story starts off with a young black man is seen approaching the red Infiniti Q50 sedan parked in a doorway and scoping it out. The vehicle is worth about $42,000 new. He tries the driver's side door, finds it unlocked, then jumps in. The homeowner runs out and confronts him, and the black man attacks him. As the pair scuffle in the driveway, falling to the ground, another 3 men running from a waiting car to join in the beating. So this is a typical gang-style ambush. 4 against 1. It's a mob of criminal scum. The 4 cowardly scumbags realize that this is not an easy target, as the vehicle owner is fighting back and kind of winning. They scurry off like the pathetic rats they are. So the word about the crime gets around. You know, small neighborhood, people talk. So 3 days later, the neighborhood is sprinkled with tiny white pieces of paper. The papers say, "Black crimes matter." That's the hate crime that needs emergency meetings to deal with the problem. And that's a perfect summary of liberal cities and this inclusivity crap. A guy got beat up in his own driveway by criminal pieces of shit. But the little pieces of paper calling out the crime was what got the whole town offended. You see the problem? But I kid you not, it gets worse. This was immediately picked up by the Southern Poverty Law Center, which, in my opinion, is a criminal organization hell-bent on destroying the country that used to be USA. These little white pieces of paper had "Black Crimes Matter" written on the front, but the back was "White men join NSC 131, defend white communities." Well, this was automatically labeled as a neo-Nazi group. Okay, hold up a minute. Neo-Nazis? Really? Do they apply that term to anything they don't like? Just kidding. That's a rhetorical question. Of course they do. NSC 131 stands for Nationalist Social Club. AOC is a socialist. Bernie Sanders is a socialist. Most of the elected officials in California are socialists. They just don't like these socialists because they're sick of a specific type of crime that never gets punished.
In Rocky Hill, some people are discovering racist pieces of paper as well as messages of hate on their property. NBC Connecticut's Jolie Sherman joining us live from town now to tell us more about how the community is responding. Jolie.
Yeah, Leslie, well, police say they've received dozens of calls about this, and those we spoke with today, especially those who have lived in Rocky Hill for a while, say this behavior comes as a shock. It wasn't hard to find these little slips of paper in this Rocky Hill neighborhood. Though tiny, these papers, which contain messages of hate, are scattered across people's lawns. Flyers that read, "Black Crimes Matter."
This is not reflective of this town. It surprises me that this would be going on because it's just not what Rocky Hill's about.
These flyers also tell people to join a certain neo-Nazi group, which has chapters throughout New England, according to the Anti-Defamation League's website.
These are instigators coming into town trying to cause a problem that's not there. We're a very diverse and inclusive community that have strong values, and I believe that's why people are so concerning and receive so many calls.
Sergeant Jeffrey Foss-Rugen says they received dozens of calls Wednesday. Police believe no one was specifically targeted, and they advised the community to throw these flyers away.
The local news jumped all over the story, shouting "hate crimes" and "neo-Nazis" and then more hate crime. But they never mentioned the original crime. They whitewashed right over it. Pun intended. So a few pieces of paper were far more offensive than a guy getting robbed and beaten in his own driveway. That's what they value. Now, Valerie Triblets, she's a piece of work, a member of the Racial Justice Steering Committee at the Rocky Hill Congregational Church, said she had no doubt the attempted car theft and racist flyers were linked. Can you even imagine that a Racial Justice Steering Committee even exists? A steering committee? What does this mini tyrant do? Steer the conversation away from the actual crime and the very small group of people that commit most of the crimes in this country? It's people like her who want to hide these crimes. And every time a gang of 4 criminals tries to steal a car, you can't talk about it, because she might get offended. I wish we could talk about it. Maybe there's a pattern we could observe and see if there's a way to prevent it. But nope, it's automatically a neo-Nazi problem. Did the neo-Nazis try to steal his car? Did the neo-Nazis try to beat him up? You know, I'm not even sure neo-Nazis exist. The only people claiming they even exist is the ADL and the Southern Poverty Law Center. I'm skeptical at best. If the neo-Nazis were a problem, we'd be seeing them all over the news. Kind of like Antifa. But that's another story for another time. So this weekend in Connecticut, in Rocky Hill, there will be rallies and a march under a banner that says, "Unite against white supremacy in Connecticut." But no one cares about the guy who almost got carjacked in his own driveway. No rallies for that guy. Well, we don't want to offend that particular group of society. They might get angry and burn the whole town down. Those are the real terrorists, the race supremacists. You want to create more racism? It's easy. Try letting one specific group of people commit crime without punishment. If they keep this up, I promise you're going to see lynchings in public again. I try to warn you, but you get mad about pieces of paper.